We definitely got some more breaking news as the Golden State Warriors are definitely, in fact, trading Jonathan Kuminga to the Atlanta Hawks to get Kristaps Porzingis in return. Not only Kuminga is going to Atlanta, but they're also getting rid of Buddy Hield as well. Man, this is something. This is a surprising trade for me because I thought that the Bucks were going to be getting rid of Giannis Antetokounmpo, and maybe the Warriors, which I've been hearing reports that the Warriors were definitely in a team interest from Giannis. But so far, Giannis hasn't really mentioned anything of wanting out. But the fact that the Warriors got Kristaps Porzingis is actually a pretty good deal because Porzingis can play both power forward and center, which of course Porzingis is a tall dude for a guy of his size that knows how to play basketball, who is an NBA champion. Because as you remember, Porzingis did play for the Boston Celtics just 2 years ago to win an NBA title. And a lot of people don't know this, and I mentioned it in my Bill Belichick video. Not only am I a diehard Patriot fan, but I'm also a diehard Celtics fan as well. So that's why I do like it on the standpoint when it's health-wise. But recently, though, Porzingis, one flaw that Porzingis does have is has struggled to stay healthy pretty much. He has a trouble of staying healthy, which of course his last game was actually almost a month ago with the Atlanta Hawks. And he's been shooting of a 36% three-point shooting percentage since from last season. I think this trade does make sense in a way if they can keep Porzingis healthy. But the fact that they traded away Buddy Hield, who was like one of their shooters, they already lost faith in him at that point, and they're going to send it to Atlanta, which of course at this point Atlanta is pretty much on the rebuilding phase because they already got rid of Trae Young. They're adding more players left and right, even from the players that I mentioned in the previous videos. But adding Porzingis for the Warriors, Porzingis, even though he could score when healthy, he can also rebound. But his flaws are struggling to stay healthy. And, of course, he's not really that big of a defensive player. So, we'll see how that works out for them. But, of course, Jonathan Kuminga, going to a new team, he did ask for a trade because, of course, Steve Kerr has stopped utilizing Jonathan Kuminga. He stopped utilizing him from coming out the bench because around mid-January, Steve Kerr did spoke with Kuminga about being out of the rotation for more than a month. And the expectation was that he would be traded. However, GM Mike Dunleavy said on January 20th, after Jimmy Butler's unfortunate season-ending knee injury, that there was no immediate indication other teams were interested in Kuminga, which, of course, that is definitely super wrong in all parts and all levels, right? It's super wrong in all levels. And, of course, Kerr discounted any issues between him and Kuminga as the reason the high-flying forward requested a trade after not being used in 17 of 18 games. Though he has been listed as injured for 9 games this season. But the young 23-year-old player from the Democratic Republic of the Congo is definitely going to be going to a new team. Which, of course, Kuminga had a $7.9 million qualifying offer in hand since June 29th, but was also waiting on other option, and he missed the team's media day as well. I don't know. It sounds something because he did sign a 2-year deal contract extension to stay with the Warriors, but after not being used much, Kuminga's like, you know what, I want out of here. I want out of here and go to a new team, which of course he will definitely be looking at starting minutes in Atlanta because Atlanta, at this point, they're definitely going to be in a full-blown rebuild because they did get rid of Trae Young a while ago to the Wizards. So, and of course, Atlanta hasn't really been that relevant to begin with. So, I think him going to Atlanta will definitely be a nice fresh pace. And I do believe Jonathan Kuminga will definitely get some more minutes. And I think Buddy Hield will still be a good rotational player despite the situation that is in. But yeah, I'm kind of mixed on this trade. This trade is kind of mixed, but we'll see what happens. I also wanted to bring up some news that I'm surprised like teams like the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis. Giannis hasn't really say anything, Giannis hasn't said much to if he wanted to get out of Milwaukee, let alone I'm surprised that the organization themselves not knowing that Milwaukee's not going anywhere this season, right? It's so surprising that Milwaukee's not going anywhere this season. And the fact that they never had the chance to trade Giannis by the trade deadline is pretty wild to me. As well as I'm surprised as the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat hasn't made no other trade moves. Or literally didn't make any trade moves at all. Which is super surprising in all aspects. Every single part of the way, But that's what's surprising to me. And I'm surprised of a few other teams too, like the Grizzlies not trading away Ja Morant, but they did trade away Jaren Jackson Jr., knowing that the Grizzlies are not really the team that they were when they were actually making contention runs. But my goodness, I'm surprised though that Giannis wasn't thrown into the mix, because imagine how many deals, how many team interests would have been for Giannis if they actually made a move right now. But the fact that they did not do that is surprising nonetheless. So I just want to get that out of my chest right there, because there has been a few other teams that hasn't really thrown anything big at the deadline, which of course after you watch this video, you probably already know it's already past now. So, but let me know in the comments section down below of the Warriors Hawks trade, and let me know your thoughts and opinions on any other teams that should have made trades in the NBA trade deadline. Let them all down in the comments section down below.